Naomi Campbell's, the
J-Lo's.
J-Lo's. Like she's actually from another generation because she brought the curves into she's the one who brought all the interest and attention on the curves and the popularity. But in my generation growing up, or even our generation growing up, it was like the Kate Mosses, the size zeros, and that's the thing. So that was what was in trend. That was what was slathered all over the media, all over television. So that was the beauty standard, you see. So then for us, if we had, now there's a little bit more interest in body positivity and embracing your curves and all of that. But then it was very much that size zero physique. So if you didn't have that, then you were considered less than, right? So that's where it came from. So it came from the social conditioning. And it's quite a process to break that down. It really is, because imagine from birth, we're being bombarded with messages from the media of how we're meant to look, how we're meant to act, how we're meant to behave. And it really does infiltrate us on the deepest level. So it really does take a lifetime to undo that conditioning. But the sooner you start, the sooner you can empower yourself, because you're breaking down that cycle of conditioning and you're rebuilding yourself up on your terms, your definitions, your values of what you should look like, how you should behave, what is authentic and natural to you. So it's, again, a process of undoing that, blocking out the noise, rebuilding ourselves. And yeah, so it's a process, but it's the most important, one of the most important things that we can do to empower ourselves.
Today's episode has been sponsored by Sean Land. We're growing a like-minded community on Discord. So if you click on the link in the bio, you can enter it absolutely free. How do you become coachable again at a later stage in your life? When you're coming up late 30s, 40s, even 50s, it feels like the older you get, you're really fixed in what you believe in. And no matter, oh, yeah, I agree with you, the next day you're back to, I was born like this, I had these conditions put onto me, and
Yeah.
this is the way I'm going to go in my path. And sometimes you can even meet people who don't mean to be, but they are very negative. You know, I was treated this way. My father spoke to me like this. And they would just carry on that same tune. And no matter what you do, you can put a little bit of positivity for a little while. And then they were just like, it's like water. You throw something in the water, it creates splashes, and then it just goes straight back.
Yeah.
Exactly how it was.
Yeah.
How does somebody say to themselves, or how can somebody be more coachable?
So that's a great question. And the only way is if someone is willing. So unless the person is willing to change their lives, their mindset, their perspective, if they want to change, they will, but it has to start with that desire. So if they don't have the desire to change, they're not coachable. It's impossible. It's like same thing if people have some kind of addiction and they're not ready to leave that behind, it's never going to go away. It's that cycle. So the same thing, you have to be willing, you have to be open to it. And I've had people approach me, for coaching and mentoring and things. And it's only those who I can see are really have that passion to change. Those are the ones that I would take on as clients, because those are the ones that are going to have that profound transformation, because they're so passionate about wanting to empower themselves and change their lives. So you have to have that willingness and that passion and that desire to be able to change your life. Otherwise, you'll just carry on the way you are.
Mm-hmm. Where was that moment where you thought to yourself, I'm going to be a motivational speaker? I'm going to be an empowerment expert. When did
Yeah.
that thought cross your mind, and how does somebody become that person?
God, even those words that you just said, like they fill me with fire. They fill me with passion. Like I feel blessed and grateful that I've been able to find this path for myself and for other people who are also looking. Did you ask for how can other people find that? What was the question? Sorry.
When did that thought come into your mind? That's
Yeah.
what you want to do. How did you train to be that?
Yeah,
You
sorry, I got
know,
so excited with the emotion of and the passion of
I
what
love
I
it.
do that I'm
I
like,
love it because you're so
what was the
real.
question?
You're so real. I love that.
Yeah. So, okay, so how did this come about? It came about because, like I said earlier, I was so fed up of not fulfilling my potential. I had previous careers that were very rewarding. They were very respectable, but they did not fulfill me on a soul level. I did not feel complete. I did not feel like, my heart is just singing all the time like I feel now with what I do. So I was just sick and tired of not having that kind of not living my life with that passion that I desire. I'm a passionate person. I need to live with that passion and energy and enthusiasm for what I do. So during the pandemic is when I kind of hit rock bottom because I had about 5, 6 challenges thrown at me simultaneously. I can take a challenge, I can take two, I can take even three, but like to then double it up and give me like, you know, 5, 6 on top of that, it was a lot. And, it was just different issues in my life related to my career, family, relationship, like so many things. And I was at a breaking point. So I was like, this experience can either break me, I can either sink, or I can not just swim, I can bloody fly. Like what's the choice here? And I'm like, obviously, knowing me, being as resilient as I am because of many challenges through my life that I've dealt with and overcome, I was like, I'm choosing the latter. And I am going to pull myself out of this darkness. I'm not going to allow these external challenges to beat me down. I'm going to rise no matter what it takes. So, what I did was, first thing first, I sought therapy. So, I did therapy it was I'm not going to lie, it's very difficult to find a suitable therapist because not everybody gets you, not everybody gets the intricacy of your specific issues and experiences because they haven't lived it. And unless you've lived something, you don't understand. You'll never understand it. So for me, it was very much just finding the right therapist. It was such a process. I must have tried 10 different therapists at least before I found somebody who got me. And I needed to start with the issues that were the root cause of my traumas, right? Because even so, I said that during the pandemic, I had all those challenges. I also had my own internal challenges, which were living through still living with my traumas and allowing them to impact and affect my day-to-day life. So I had to go back to childhood where the traumas first began. I had a very kind of difficult, tumultuous childhood, and that really impacted me throughout my life.
What do you mean by that?
So just like the parental relationship unstable, unhealthy, relationship for like witnessing my parents' marriage, which it was tumultuous to say the least. I didn't have a good stable foundation, and it really rocked my world. Also, my parents' marriage was so bad that they had to separate at some point because living under one roof was so toxic. So they had to separate. And at one point, then my father, when I was still, I think, I don't know, 9 or 10 or something, he left and went to New Zealand. And we were living in New Jersey in the States. And he left, went to New Zealand to start his life over. because the issues at home were so bad.